Well, good morning. It's 9:43 and it is September. What's today? Gosh, it's the 30th. Sure is. It's the 30th. Tomorrow is Halloween. Well, since it's Halloween, I guess we should tailor the topic to suit the day. Man, this is a tough one. Tough for me and tough for a lot of you out there too. Because for some people, Halloween is, well, it's a time where we talk about ghosts. And sometimes the ghosts aren't the ones that are in haunted houses there. They're the people that once held space in our hearts and vanished. That kind of ghosting can haunt you long after October 31st. If you've been through that, I see you. I've been there. My ghoster is someone that I loved completely, saw only the best in them. I knew her for 16 years, and she just stepped out of my life like that 16 years never, ever happened. And I wrote many letters trying to connect, and I never got a response. And I did so for 2 months, more than 2 months, without a single response. And once I realized that there wasn't going to be a response, I had to start accepting that my life was going to look radically different. And it's an interesting topic when we talk about this dynamic, as it happens on all different levels. It happens to brothers and sisters. It happens to mothers and fathers. It happens to friends, relatives, and not just lovers, not just relationships. And it really does impact people sometimes for the rest of their life. Sad. But a fact. Ghosting sent me into loops of self-doubt. I asked myself, what could I have done different? And I'd go over our last words and I would try to figure out, was it me? If I said something differently, could it have avoided what happened? But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what I've learned is that ghosting rarely reflects your value. It's not something you did or said. It's the other person's availability, their emotional intelligence, their capability of addressing problems and facing them. When someone disappears without a word, it's not closure that you're missing. It's communication skills, and it's not yours. It's the skills on their part. It's not yours to fix. You can't fix it. When somebody, and all relationships, it doesn't matter whether it's a love relationship, it doesn't matter whether it's a child-parent dynamic or friendship, you're always going to come into contact or come into a situation where some kind of conflict resolution skill is needed. But when somebody doesn't have those skills, they cannot have that conversation, and so they run. And what I would like to try to do here today, one of the things, is I think oftentimes the runner gets a very bad rap. It's very easy to see the runner as somebody that is a bad person. And as time goes by, it could look even worse because this person never has accountability for what they did. You suffer and suffer for months and maybe even years. And you have to get therapy. You go through spiritual awakening. I mean, you just, your life is turned upside down, and this person is just carrying on with their life like yours never existed. And it can really mess with your mind as you're sitting here trying to pick up all the pieces of your life, and your person is already with somebody else and pretending like you never existed. And you can find yourself questioning total reality and just thinking like, how in the world could this possibly be happening? And it's so very easy to get into this mindset where you think, this person is awful. Why would they do this to me? Don't they know that I'm hurting? And yes, they know you're hurting. But why don't they reach out? Why don't they have accountability? Why don't they apologize? And have you ever heard of the saying that hurt people hurt people? And when we're talking about ghosting, right, we're talking about an avoidance mechanism. And a lot of times these people are labeled avoidance. And if you don't know what that means, you should start reading about attachment styles, and avoidant personality types is one of them that you're going to read about. And it's just what it sounds like. It's like when something uncomfortable comes up, this person avoids that topic and they just bolt. They're just gone because they don't have the communication skills. They don't have the emotional intelligence to deal with the problem. So they just run. And they will run right into the arms of somebody else and bring that dysfunction with them. And this will keep happening over and over and over again until the connection is made within their mind that they are the source of their own problem. And hopefully at that point, they're open to some kind of therapeutic measure or some kind of, situation where they are able to confront this aspect of themselves. But I want to just try to kind of help you understand what's happening here with your ghoster. When your ghoster does this to you, it's helpful to understand. And I know this is hard to do in the beginning. It takes a lot of time. You have to get through a certain amount of healing before you can even have this kind of sympathy for your ghoster. But I'm just going to tell you, in case you're not there yet, I want you to understand that your ghoster probably loves you still, probably thinks about you, probably wishes that they could have done things different, but they don't have the emotional capacity to tell you this. And they're going to hide because they just cannot face this reality. They can't. They just can't. Your ghoster is suffering in unimaginable ways. You are going to suffer at first. Unfortunately for your ghoster suffers later. At first, your ghoster is just like, thank God I'm out of that mess, man. I dodged the bullet. And then what happens is over time, your ghoster starts running into the same situations, getting the same outcome. And it starts to dawn on them that the common denominator in all of their problems is themselves. Then and only then can your ghoster start to heal. But I want you to understand what's happening. Your ghoster is like this because of a childhood wound. If you could look into the past of your person, whoever it is that ghosted you, you would see that this person was in an unimaginable circumstance as a child. They were abandoned by one or both of their parents, left alone, left to care for themselves, while their egotistic parents are out serving their own needs and just leaving this little one to fend for themselves. It's really sad. And unfortunately, it is a reality that is shared by way too many people in the world. And so this child learns from early on that they can only count on themselves. And anytime they are faced with a situation where they are expected to be vulnerable, to open up, they just can't do it. It makes them nervous because they always feel like they're going to be left because they've been abandoned in the past. It's so sad. But that is the reality of the situation in its simplified form. Your ghoster didn't do this because they hate you. Your ghoster did this because this person is wounded from a childhood wound, and that comes from the parents. And likely the parents inherited that dysfunction from their parents. It's a generational curse. And the Bible refers to it as sins of the father. That's what they're talking about. That this dysfunction is handed down from generation to generation. And oftentimes, there is not an intervention. And so this process just keeps moving on down through the generations. And this dysfunction metastasizes and gets worse and worse and worse. It's really sad. Well, for you, once the dust settles, you can start hearing your own voice again. This ghosting is going to force you to build your own closure because you're not going to get it from them. It's been 16 months and I haven't heard one word from my ghoster. The person that meant everything to me. The person I've had nightmares for. The person I cried for every day for over a year. The person I agonize over still. I think about her, worried for her, scared for her. And my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do. And so this closure is something you're going to have to give yourself, because you'll wait forever if you think that your person, your ghoster, is going to give it to you. You've got to start writing your own meaning in life. The haunting ends when you decide that the story ends. And it really has ended. And for anyone here that is dealing with this, I have to tell you something. And this is going to be really hard to hear. But your relationship with your ghoster is over. It is really over. I'm sorry to tell you this, but your person does not have what it takes to have a relationship. And until they do, and they're willing to come to you with full accountability, then the relationship is over. And I can tell you that somebody who is avoidant in nature, even with therapy, it's years. It takes years for them to get to a place where they can take accountability. Your relationship is over, and it is time for you now to pick up the pieces of your life and move on. And accept that what has happened has happened. You cannot wait for your ghost to return. You need to walk back to yourself. one way to look at this, and I know it's very difficult, but sometimes the ones that vanish they become the very reason that you learn how to stay present for yourself. And they actually become your greatest teacher, because this act of ghosting forces you to come home to yourself. One, to develop boundaries that will protect your heart and your soul. And you're in this situation because you had no boundaries. Because every ghoster leaves a trail of clues before the ghosting. But you ignore them because you think that they're special and that you're special together and that you can face all odds. Unfortunately for you, it's that very kind of thinking, that kind of love, that sends the ghoster and avoidant running for the hills. Not because they're a bad person, but because they are so damaged. But your ghoster is going to teach you how to love yourself better than you ever have before. And when it's all said and done, you're going to look at this situation and say, thank God that it happened. Thank God. You pray for them. You hope that their life can improve. But you're on your own. And this moment in time, this ghosting situation that you're involved with, has the potential to be so life-changing for you that you can find yourself in a way that you've never saw yourself before. You can find yourself, your true self, your authentic self. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's a painful journey, but when you get to the end, you're going to be better prepared for life than you've ever been before if you can make it through this experience. If you can allow yourself to grow stronger, wiser for it. I don't know if I've ever felt a pain more painful than this. And I can tell you that I will never go through this again. Never. Because of the understanding now that I have about myself and how I abandoned myself. You see, your ghoster is really just a mirror. You think that they're abandoning you, but what they're really doing is holding up a mirror to you, showing you how you've abandoned yourself. And this moment is a moment in time where both you and the ghoster can actually change your life in a very profound way. The question is, will you? When it comes to them, you've got to it's over. You can't even worry about that. All you can do right now is worry about yourself. And I hope that for everyone listening to this, if you find yourself in this situation, and if you're just starting, there is a resource that I want you to look at. It's called Coping with Ghosting. And the host of that program, her name is Greta. And I'm going to forward this video to her. And I think that that is a good place for you to start this healing journey. I know it's so hard to believe, but there's going to come a time where you're going to thank God, you're going to thank the universe for this situation. Because it's your liberator. You're being liberated. It doesn't look like it right now. I understand that. But you are being liberated. And you're going to have all kinds of doors are waiting to open for you on the other side of this healing, on the other side of this tragedy. I believe in miracles, and it's not out of the question that your ghoster Look at it this way. If there's a chance for you to heal, so is there a chance for them. And oftentimes your ghoster is going to find themselves in a situation where they have the opportunity to see that there's a problem. And if they want a better life for themselves, then they're going to have to take the effort to make repairs first for themselves and then maybe with you. Don't count on it, but hold space in your heart for miracles. This is a miracle for you. Maybe there can also be a miracle for them. And that's really all you can do. Pray for them. Send them positive vibrations. And what else can you do? But your attention now must be turned to yourself and only you. You likely have people that are counting on you. Maybe you're raising children or you have a business. Get into self-care, extreme self-care. You've got a lot of healing to do. If this just happened to you and it's a love relationship, do not get into another relationship until you have healed. If it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months and you're still feeling raw, you are not ready for another relationship. You're going to walk into a situation that is going to break your heart and somebody else's. You need to take the time to process what has happened, to understand it fully before you get into another relationship. I promise you. When you rebound out of a situation like this, you're running into a karmic situation that will only end poorly. It cannot end correctly. It will not end correctly. It's going to end with another broken heart, or 2, or 3, or 4, or more. Because it was entered into from a running state, an avoidant state. And if you're not careful, you yourself become avoidant. Don't make that mistake. Take the time to heal and see what the universe offers as a possible next step when you're ready. You're ready to get into another relationship. You do so out of readiness, not out of panic, not out of codependency. So very important. So very important. Not to get away from, not hiding from the problems in your life. I hope this makes sense. You guys, I love you so much. I make these videos because I just, my ghoster sent me into a spiritual awakening, which transformed me in a very fundamental way. And I find myself growing more and more in love with the collective that's you every day. And I just think about you, and I just can't keep myself from sharing my stories in the hopes that if even just one person is helped, then I just feel like, I'm doing something good. And when you think about the kind of pain that you're experiencing, it can actually become this beautiful thing, because you can take that pain and transmute it into a healing energy. So you take that awful feeling, that awful energy of pain, and you transform it into a different kind of energy, a healing energy. First for yourself, and then for other people. And there will become a time where you'll be able to look at the whole thing as you step back and you say, wow, look at what this ghosting situation has done. It has opened the door for generational healings for untold number of people. not just yourself. The miracle is maybe, just maybe, the ghoster will also be healed at some point. I believe in miracles. We'll see. But you are part of a very special story. It's your story. And likely the universe orchestrated this event. I'll bet there's nothing that you could have done to stop from happening what did happen. It might be helpful to look at it that way. It's a wake-up call from God, from the universe. A wake-up call for you. Because God loves you so much that God's like, I gotta get in between this. Because if this situation isn't straightened out in the right way, this person's is going to waste their life. It's gonna be ruined. And I don't want that. That's the kind of love, the universe, that God has for you. I hope you can believe it. If you can't now, likely you will when you have healed. I love you so much. I hope that your day is special. If it's not, I hope it does get better. But that really is up to you. You get to decide. Anyway, happy Halloween. Goodbye.